We're here tonight to interview Simon Boswell, famous film composer who worked with famous movie directors like Danny Boyle, Dario Argento, Richard Stanley and Clive Barker. So what is the purpose of a score in your film?
You know, there's many different purposes, I'd say. I mean, I tried to say in my talk is that music is almost like the conscience of the film. It's something which keeps the audience sort of having some kind of emotional contact with it. Perhaps is not the same as what they're viewing on screen. So that you can tell somebody's emotional journey through music. In other words, you can make somebody quite sympathetic who is not a sympathetic character with music. There's lots of different things. I mean, it is one's duty with music to kind of make it more exciting, to make it more fabulous, to make it scarier.
Can a movie exist without a score?
Absolutely,
yes?
It can. It definitely can, and I think silence is important.
But when you look like, if you've seen a movie like that, doesn't you don't have the feeling something is lacking?
Well, you know, it depends what kind of film it is.
Yeah.
So I also think that if you have too much music in a film, it loses its impact. So, you know, how it is spaced out, the moments of silence are very important, because then when music finally comes, you appreciate what it's doing.
Okay. Another question about the work product. How do you approach a movie? Do you immediately think about a theme, or do you improvise, or how do you get about starting?
Usually I sit down at the very beginning of the film, like the pianist at a silent movie, and I literally watch, and I find that the speed of the editing determines the kind of pace of the music, and I literally respond through my eyes into my hands, and I don't really know.
So almost rhythmical.
Almost rhythmical, but I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I very often trust my first response.
Okay. And you've explained already inside that you've studied English literature, and that was very important for you as a film composer. Could you explain our viewers why that is important to have like a literate background?
Well, I think it's just that if you study literature, you have to understand what a whole book is about, a whole novel or a whole play or a whole poem. And it's the same with a movie. You have to actually understand the whole thing and have a dialogue with the director about that as well, about what he wants to do.
Yes.
It's about narrative, but it's not just about taking one scene and going, oh, okay, this is the music that works here. You have to take a theme and develop it and twist it and move it in and out of people's awareness. It's almost like writing a novel, but it's more about interpreting a novel and making sense of it.
And I've just a short one about the three favorite sports. I've read once about your three favorite sports: Dr. Zhivago, Lawrence of Arabia, and Space Odyssey. Those are all three 60s movies, like classics, oldies.
Yes.
What does it say about the current state of film music?
You know, there are some good scores around, but generally speaking, I think they all sound the same. I think everybody's learned far too quickly from each other the shorthand of film music, and it's not really particularly exciting. You know, I miss it. I miss something original. I miss like the early Morricone scores on the Sergio Leone films. You know, I miss sort of bold statements. But also in 2001, you know, the electronic use of classical music. It's completely groundbreaking.
My final question for our viewers is, what is the best advice you can give young aspiring film composers?
You know, I just, you know, keep experimenting. You know, take an already existing film, you know, rip it off a DVD, put it on your computer, and experiment with what you can do. But more than that, find other aspiring filmmakers. And do a short. You know, just do anything to demonstrate that you've got a talent for it. That's really the way to get on.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Boswell.